What's up guys? I am back with another video. In today's video I will be showing you guys how to make this very sexy dress. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I made it, stay tuned. Alright, so first I just began by cutting like this little extra off of the bottom because I wanted to kind of fade out. So we're just gonna go here. I did not have my patterns and stuff with me, so I'm just kind of like freehanding it. I knew how long she wanted her skirt to be, so I just went in and put a pin for her skirt. I'm gonna put a pin in for her, her skirt length, and I'm gonna put a pin in for her waist, pin in for her hips, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and cut it out in the skirt shape. Again, as I said, I did not really have my patterns with me, so I'm just kind of like freehanding. I always start with the length of something, so I start with the length of the skirt, as you saw, and then I started with the length of the top, and then I just went in and did her bust. And I'm just gonna go ahead. If you watch, I'm basically just cutting out a rectangle, but I had it kind of fade up into her bust measurement. Now I'm gonna go back in and measure out her waist measurement just to make sure that's fine. But as of right now, I'm just kind of like playing around with that armhole, which it was still slightly a little bit too small, but it wasn't like very noticeable. So yeah, I'm just kind of like playing around with that. Alright, so here I'm basically just kind of like folding my fabric in half because I also had to use this for something else. So you see me keep like readjusting it because I want to use the least amount of fabric as possible. But this is just her fabric to go on the back of her dress because the fabric that was on the front did not stretch, and she definitely wanted the dress to be like skin tight. So we just went ahead and opted to do the spandex for the back. And you're just gonna go ahead and go in and just like basically do the exact same thing. Just take those pieces from the front and just recut those all out for the back. Alright, so here we're gonna go ahead and just like start cutting our V. Now with cutting your V, you want to measure out the length of your V, but you also want to have about an inch of seam allowance from where you would normally cut it. So if you look in the center, there's like a dip where your like the neck part goes. You want to make sure that you're not cutting your shoulder, that you're cutting about an inch of that neck piece. And once you fold it over to hem it, you'll still have your complete shoulder. So now we're just gonna go ahead and cut out our puff sleeve. Now this is the sleeve pattern that I already had. If you guys want me to do a video on how I made it, I definitely can. Now if you pay attention, I only folded it over twice, so I only have a shoulder and a half, like I'm a sleeve and a half. So later on, I'm gonna have to go back and cut out another piece for the sleeve. But this is just kind of basically how I did it. It's like a regular sleeve pattern, and then you just go up with it, and you also go out with it to make it like a puff sleeve. so now we're just gonna go ahead and pin our sleeves right side to right sides. Now this is about the point where I noticed that I did not have enough for the other sleeve, so I just went back in and cut out another one just to make sure that you should have two pieces for each sleeve, a front and a back. And so you want to go ahead and pin that down, and you're gonna sew down each side. Okay, so here is where that seam allowance comes in. You're gonna go ahead and fold that extra over, and that's the part that you're pinning is what you're gonna sew down to make sure you have clean edges on your V. So you just want to go ahead and pin that all the way down, and then you're gonna go with your machine and just sew down with a straight stitch down that V. Alrighty, so next you just want to go ahead and do the same thing that you did with your V. You want to just go ahead and hem your neckline. Alrighty, so here we're just going ahead and putting our fabrics right sides to right side for our skirt, and we're just going to sew down each side. Perfect. As you can see here, we just went ahead and pinned everything down, the top and the sides, and we're just going to go ahead and sew down those seams, and then I may possibly add another seam down the middle, just depending on how I'm feeling. So as you can see here, I actually ended up adding a seam down the middle. You don't have to, but I think the seam down the middle makes it a lot easier to adjust the V if the V is too low, or if the V needs to be lower. Alrighty, so here we just want to flip our fabrics right sides to right side, the top and the bottom, and we're just going to go ahead and go in and sew all the way around. If you can see here, I'm just cutting out the extra fabric on the side, but you're just going to go ahead and go in and sew all the way around. Alrighty, so here are the sleeves. We just sewed down both sides of the sleeves. Here I'm just showing you two different techniques on how to do the sleeve. So you can either go in and fold it and pin it each, fold if you want to, if that makes it easier for you. Or in the next clip, I'm going to show you guys how I just gather it with the actual machine. So either way is fine, just whichever way is the most effective for you. as long as you have the top of that sleeve gathered down, and then you want to just go in and test it within your armhole to see if you've gathered it too much. Then you can take a little bit of the gather out with your thread ripper, and if you haven't gathered it enough, then you can just go ahead and gather it some more before you sew it into your armhole. And here is just me flipping it right sides out, and I'm just gonna go ahead and go in and sew it into my armhole. Alrighty, and this is our final product. Now, I still had to go in and hem her sleeves at the bottom, and also that opening that I left for her sleeves. And I also had to go to the bottom of her skirt and hem it, but I did that whenever she came and tried it on. So other than that, this is the final result. It was fire AF. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and definitely stay tuned. Okay, guys, and one last thing. Please, 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 please. I don't know how many times I can say it. Do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We definitely have new great videos coming soon, so stay tuned.